DungeonSwap. Do you like play-to-earn games? Obviously. Do you like it when the game you're playing isn't boring? Yeah, I do like that. A play-to-earn RPG tabletop game that you can earn D&D tokens and NFTs from by just playing? Whoa, amazing! And if that doesn't sound good enough, the game is releasing today. Yeah, you heard me right. Today on the 1st of August at 6 p.m. UTC time, the first dungeon will be opened up, and after paying the one-time entry fee, you are ready to battle. This is future me editing the video, and I have now realized that you are probably paying a fee every time you enter the dungeon. However, because you are earning D&D tokens, most likely you are earning more D&D tokens from entering the dungeon than it costs to enter the dungeon. Of course, depending on how far you get, but I'm guessing most of the time you do, so yeah, just wanted to say that. All players start with beginner gear, and as they progress through the dungeon, you'll receive NFT drops, which you can either equip now and progress through more dungeons, or you can save those NFT drops for later if you maybe get a really rare NFT drop to sell on the marketplace. I'm very excited for the release of this game. And personally, I have already got myself quite a few D&D tokens, and now I'm just waiting for the first dungeon's release. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with the game Cryptoblades. I play that game as well. However, Cryptoblades involves just a lot of clicking. You don't really see anything, you just choose how much energy you want to spend, click, battle, that's it. However, as I understand, in this game you actually get to do a bit more. It's a bit more interactive, so it won't be just you sitting there looking at numbers, just clicking, and then it's done. You actually get to see the monster. It's more interactive, so I'm very much looking forward to this game. Now, with all of that out of the way, uh, let's have a look at some of the sneak peek files that the DungeonSwap team has provided. If you are active in like the YouTube or Twitter scene of DungeonSwap, then you have probably already seen these because I'm a bit late. However, if you haven't, we can go through the files together. Now, first of all, secret about the dungeon. The story is written by a professional player of a well-known dungeon-themed tabletop RPG game, which is guaranteed to get you into the vibe. Now, that tabletop RPG game, I sure wonder which game that is. Definitely not D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. So, we'll definitely be good in the role-playing part of the game. Now, there will be 3 dungeons in our first release: the training field, the immortal licks. I think you pronounce it's not lich but lich, something like that. Licks. Oh my god, Forbidden Castle, and the boss battleground. You'll pay a small amount of D&D as entry fee to enter the dungeons. After that, you're free to leave the dungeon anytime with your D&D reward. You may get an NFT even if you lose your battle. There is a top class mechanism to prevent cheating, compromising the blockchain, pseudo randomness that has not been seen in any blockchain game. So the security is up there. And they're claiming that it hasn't been seen in any other blockchain games, so I'm pretty confident that if it is as they say, that at least we are safe from any cheating. And lastly, the extra D&D earned by the dungeons will be burned both automatically and manually. reducing the overall supply of D&D. Now, you may see different monsters even if you enter the same level of the dungeon, as monsters you encounter is randomized each time. Yeah, this I quite like this. It makes it so that the battles aren't very stale. You won't see the same opponent every time as compared to other NFT games. The odds of earning an NFT will increase as you progress to further level in the dungeon. The last level of each dungeon has a almost guaranteed chance of earning you an NFT. So that means when you enter a dungeon and you like progress through the different stages of that dungeon, you always have a chance to get an NFT, but it seems like the further you progress in that dungeon, the higher the chances of obtaining an NFT gets. So, just as an example, let's say in the first stage of the dungeon, the chances of an NFT may be 5 to 10%, and at the last level of the dungeon, maybe the chance is 90 or 95%, something like that. 9. No tax at all in D&D and the dungeon. That's nice. There will be 8 elements in the realm, and they are all interrelated, which is embedded into every monster and every weapon, shield, etc. 11. The 8 elements are water, fire, ice, wind, earth, thunder, light, and dark. Now that's very nice to see some more variety. We won't just have like your standard water, fire, lightning, and earth. We actually have some other elements which will bring a lot more in terms of both variety, strategies. We'll see, which is quite nice. Now onto a few of the pictures. Here we can see our NFT equipment in the armory. So as we can see, this player has a Silent Haze, which is a weapon of the Thunder element. It has 15 bonus points, it's level 20, and it's a sword type weapon. And then at the bottom we have the description of the sword, which is nice. There's some kind of lore, so the sword isn't just a picture. It actually has a story behind it, which is always nice to see. And then we see the player also has some sort of amulet and axe or hatchet in their inventory, which leads me to believe maybe you can be wearing multiple items at a time in comparison to other games where maybe you can just equip one item, or it seems like you can maybe have a weapon, possibly some sort of offhand weapon as well, an amulet, maybe rings, possibly even armor. We'll see. That's it for the armory. Now, this is the dungeon screen where you go before you enter the dungeons. As you can see, there's a fee to enter the dungeon, and yeah, this is just where you go to enter the dungeon. You pay the fee, you enter, you earn D&D, and you can also get NFTs. Here we also see that you have the training field, a tutorial on how to play the game. I'm guessing if that tutorial is mandatory or not, I don't know. And then you can see we have the campaign, and there's also some sort of jackpot reward. I'm guessing whenever you enter the dungeon you have a chance to encounter that jackpot, and whoever finds that jackpot gets rewarded with a lot of D&D. And lastly, we can see the campaign boss, the boss battleground, which costs a significant amount of D&D to enter, at least significantly higher than the just normal campaign. But I'm guessing the loot is also much better in the boss battleground, which is why it costs more to enter it. Now, onto, I'm guessing this is the interface that you see and interact with when you are inside the dungeon. As you can see, this player has progressed to level 7 of this dungeon. You can see the NFT equipment which they are wearing. They have a sword, a shield, and some sort of gem. So the gem is probably giving you some bonus stat points or some buffs, which is quite interesting to see. I'm very glad that it's more than just, okay, you have a sword, go and battle. The sword is not the only weapon or type of equipment, so to say. Now for your strategies, there is a free attack. You can see that the chance of winning the battle by using the free attack is 34% with an 18% chance of a NFT drop. You can also do a special attack, which costs some D&D, but you have increased winning chance and increased NFT drop chance. And then you also have the option to escape, harvest the reward of 160 D&D and end this expedition. So if you choose the option to escape, you are leaving with the NFTs and D&D tokens that you have earned thus far. And to the right you can see reward of level 7. You get 380 D&D. I'm guessing that this number will be lower in game. And then you also get a Queen's Heart for completing that level. So the Queen's Heart seems to be some sort of amulet, and looking at the player's equipment, I'm guessing they should probably go for that because they don't have the best equipment. And something very interesting at the bottom right, the jackpot of level 10. You receive almost 40,000 D&D and the King's Glory. Now, again, remember that the D&D reward amounts will probably be different when the game releases. So the number may be higher and the number may be lower. And also one last look at the Spider Queen, which looks really cool. As we already know, there will be a lot of variety in the monsters or opponents, enemies that you meet. So do expect to see a lot of different looking enemies. As we can see here, we have the Ogre Warrior, reward of level 9. You can get an Ogre Axe, almost 4.5k D&D. The jackpot stays the same. But because the player has progressed 2 levels, we can see at the bottom the winning chance is lowered to 17% for the free attack and 22% for the special attack. However, the NFT drop chance has increased significantly. It's 26% for the free attack and 52% for the special attack. And if the player chooses to escape now, they will get 1086 D&D, which is quite a lot. I'm guessing since the price has gone up, the rewards, D&D rewards will go down. I'm not sure what the price of D&D was when making or when taking these screenshots, but then again, this is not the finalized product. This is just these are just teasers, so do expect the rewards to be lowered, at least for the normal rewards. The jackpot is probably bigger now. And yeah, that's it.